All right, should the rich be forced to pay more for speeding fines? The New York Times, writing in an op-ed, this. He said the flat fine threatens poor people with financial ruin while letting rich people break the law without meaningful repercussions. Equity requires punishment that is equally felt. So the question here is, what does equal mean? Here to debate it, Sam Braverman, a former municipal prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney, and financial advisor Armando Soto. Thank you both for being here. Sam, I'm going to start with you. You support the idea that people of different incomes should pay different fines for the same offense. How is that fair?
Well, of course it's fair, because the system already is built in this way. So a judge is taking into consideration all the time whether or not a person can afford a fine. And the Constitution says clearly that you can have no unconstitutionally excessive fines. So it's a normal sort of thing.
Okay, so someone doesn't make any money and they commit a huge violation and they can't pay. Sometimes they don't. That's very different than saying I'm speeding, you're speeding, I make 200 grand, you make 75 grand. We pay different. I don't understand how that sounds fair.
Well, the fact is, most people, in fact, don't make $75,000. Your average person's making $25,000 to $40,000.
Pick your amounts. The point is,
and a Wall Street guy making 1.2. So the guy who's working at $7.50 an hour, it takes him from Monday to Wednesday to pay his $150 fine. The Wall Street guy makes it by 9:15 in the morning.
Armando, what do you say?
I say we just shouldn't break the law. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. A fine is a method to deter somebody from breaking the law, right? So if we have a flat fine for everybody, we also have the point system for everybody. So regardless if somebody that's very wealthy can pay or cannot pay the fine, the point system is going to deter him from breaking the law again. So before you get into your car, if you can't afford to pay a fine, just don't break the law. Fix your car.
But have you ever driven
don't speed.
Armando, when I drove on the highway this morning getting here, I mean, nobody was driving the speed limit. Literally not a single person was driving the speed limit. The speed limit was not even advisory. I mean, there's just nobody driving the speed limit on the highway.
Okay, so maybe we should enforce our laws. But, Sam, where does it stop when you start making an income argument? That could go in any direction for everything. Now justice is not blind. It's looking at your pocketbook before it makes a decision.
Well, then make it the alternative. So, for example, when I'm a municipal prosecutor and somebody's got a fine of $750 and they can't pay it, and then they can't drive their car and they can't work, and now they become a ward of the state, is that better for society? How does that improve situations? And if judges are taking this into consideration when setting up a fine, well, then that works. But if they don't take it into consideration, why is it an advantage?
Armando, we're having the same debate on taxes, right? You have a progressive tax system, or do you have a flat tax? What's fairness? Is fairness the rich pay more, or is fairness everyone pays the same?
Let me ask you a better question. Would it be fair for me to work harder just to pay higher fines? What's my incentive here to better myself? Or for anybody else, for that matter.
But fortunately, Armando, you and I both make disproportionately better than everybody else. And therefore, we are in an advantage. I mean, if I was late this morning, and if I said, okay, I tell you what, I'll be on time because I'm going to drive at 100 miles an hour, and if it gets me a ticket, so be it. I pay for it. Who cares?
Sam, everybody, that could be a result of you being lucky or having rich parents or of working hard. So ultimately, couldn't this manifest in people who've worked hard to get to the top get hit the most? We gotta leave it there.
Right, but that's exactly the point. Why not deter them? If we want Armando's system to work, we have to deter the people. If we don't deter them, we don't get it.
All right, well, that's the debate will continue. Sam Braverman, Armando Soto, we have to leave it right there. Appreciate your time, both of you.
Guys.